Most people move through the digital money space thinking they've already witnessed everything there is to see. Every day, there's a new token, a new blockchain, or another wave of hype promising to reshape the future. But every so often, something shows up that feels different, something that doesn't follow the usual script. And right now, one of the most unpredictable and talked about forces in the entire cryptocurrency world is the Pi network. Consider how crypto began. Bitcoin arrived with massive mining rigs roaring in garages and warehouses, demanding high power consumption and technical expertise. Ethereum brought smart contracts but also required complex setups that most everyday people could never manage. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Pi stepped onto the scene and introduced a concept that nobody expected: mining a potential cryptocurrency directly from your phone. No heavy hardware. No loud machines. No extreme electricity bills. Just a simple mobile device and a vision that anyone, anywhere, could participate in a global financial movement. The project wasn't launched by celebrity founders or backed by billionaire investors. It was created by Stanford graduates who believed a digital currency should belong to ordinary people, not the elite. And that message struck a nerve. Millions around the world signed up, some driven by hope, others by curiosity, and many simply unwilling to miss what could become the next major shift in global finance. People tapped their phones every day, collecting Pi tokens and imagining the possibility that someday those digital numbers might hold real, usable value. But while Pi was steadily growing its community, something else was rising on the global stage, something far more powerful, structured, and government-controlled. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. And leading that movement is China, aggressively pushing forward with its digital Yuan, also known as the ECNY. What once began as a pilot program has evolved into a full government-backed digital version of the national currency. It's engineered for speed, traceability, and complete efficiency, with trials already active across major cities and involving merchants, banks, public services, and millions of everyday citizens. What makes this so fascinating is the stark contrast between these two digital worlds. Pi represents decentralization, thousands of individuals spread across the globe contributing to a network built by the people, for the people. The digital yuan represents centralization, where every transaction can be monitored and the currency is fully controlled by the state. One side pushes digital freedom. The other reinforces digital authority. At first glance, these two systems seem like polar opposites that could never intersect. Yet the digital economy has a way of surprising everyone. In a world where new technologies collide and unexpected partnerships form overnight, no possibility stays impossible for long. And as Pi's user base expanded, especially across Asia, with millions of users inside China, government officials and financial institutions inevitably began paying attention. When millions of people are already interacting with a digital asset every day, the idea of integrating them into a formalized financial system becomes a strategic opportunity. This is where speculation took off. This is where the whispers started growing louder. And this is where the world began wondering whether something much bigger was happening behind the scenes. Could Pi Network somehow connect with China's digital yuan? Could a decentralized project and a government-run digital currency find common ground? At first, the idea sounded like fantasy. But in a world reinventing what money even means, almost nothing is too far-fetched. If a bridge were to form between these two ecosystems, it would almost certainly run through China's major financial institutions, banks that routinely help the government roll out new digital initiatives. Two names often surface in these conversations: Industrial Bank and Merging Bank. Industrial Bank stands as a national heavyweight, blending government guidance with market-driven strategies. Meanwhile, Merging Bank, backed largely by private capital, is known for championing small businesses and embracing innovative financial technologies. Whenever China launches something new, these institutions tend to be among the first to support, educate, and implement the systems for the public. So when online chatter began circulating that these banks might be exploring connections with the Pi network, the digital world didn't stay quiet. Screenshots appeared. Posts spread like wildfire. Some claimed these banks were testing ways to integrate Pi into their payment systems. Others suggested experimental features allowing Pi wallets to connect to bank accounts or even exchange Pi directly for digital yuan. Imagine what that would mean. In an instant, millions of Pi users could interact with China's government-backed digital currency. Overnight, Pi would have a level of legitimacy and utility that most cryptocurrencies could only dream of. The shockwaves would be global. But there was a problem: nothing was officially confirmed. No statements from Industrial Bank. No announcements from Merging Bank. No verification from the Pi core team. And in the world of finance, silence is significant. True partnerships are rarely kept secret. They come with press releases, corporate events, and widespread media coverage. None of that happened. Analysts who looked deeper couldn't find concrete evidence. Journalists found no reliable sources. Even major financial outlets dismissed the claims as speculation. Still, the rumors refused to fade. Within the Pi community, hope only grew stronger. Many believed this was the moment they had been waiting for. They argued that China wouldn't overlook a network with tens of millions of active users. That Pi could act as a bridge to spread the digital yuan's influence globally. They pointed to China's recent economic strategies, insisting that new digital currency initiatives require new digital infrastructures, and Pi's global reach could provide exactly that. Others disagreed. They pointed to China's strict stance against decentralized cryptocurrencies. They noted Pi's low value in IOU markets and the fact that its mainnet wasn't fully open. Most importantly, they highlighted the massive technical and ideological difference between a centralized CBDC and a decentralized mobile-mined token. Bringing the two together would require enormous trust and cooperation, something neither side had shown publicly. Yet the debate kept burning. Optimists versus realists. Belief versus caution. To understand why these rumors spread so quickly, it helps to understand China's complex relationship with digital assets. The country bans crypto trading and mining to maintain financial stability and prevent large-scale capital flight. Yet at the same time, China invests heavily in blockchain technology. They embrace the innovation but resist the freedom that comes with decentralized currencies. This paradox is what makes every rumor feel both impossible and strangely possible at the same time. If Pi were ever integrated, it would only be under strict government oversight. Meanwhile, Pi continues building its own ecosystem. The network is still in its enclosed mainnet phase, meaning Pi cannot yet be traded globally. But behind the scenes, development is constant. A decentralized exchange is on the way. Liquidity pools are being formed. Automated market-making tools are being tested. Developers are building applications for Pi's future open network. The foundation of a real DeFi environment is quietly taking shape. Even so, Pi's value in IOU markets remains low, despite gains across the broader crypto landscape. And at the end of the day, Pi's fate won't be determined by rumors or speculation. It will be shaped by its ability to deliver real utility, practical tools, apps, and economic activity that give Pi meaning beyond hope. The next major update could change everything. And when it arrives, the world will finally see whether Pi Network is just another digital dream or the next chapter in the story of global currency.